Okay. No, we have 2 claps.
Yeah.
Better than 1.
I don't think that's true.
It makes it more confusing.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Vito Gesualdi, owner and proprietor of the popular YouTube channel, youtube.com/Vito. I'm here with my guest, Max Carson. You may know him as... Wait, am I ever supposed to use your real name?
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Okay. Mr. Girl, longtime fan of the channel, friend of the show. We just saw a movie, Max. What movie did we see? Do you know the title of the movie? That's the question.
No.
I don't either.
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey.
And the Fantabulous something of Harley
I think it's
Quinn?
and the glorious I know it's Emancipation and the glorious emancipation of one Harley
Quinn. Yeah.
Is that it?
I think so.
I might have got it. That movie, of course, starring Margot Robbie reprising her character of Harley Quinn, as first seen in the movie Suicide Squad, a movie I hated with a passion. But I don't know, was the shining part of that movie Harley Quinn? That was something from the movie I guess I enjoyed.
Yeah, there's some relief when she's on screen.
Yeah, you're like, oh, somebody who can, like, act and, like, is interesting.
Yeah, Will Smith just seemed like he didn't want to be in the movie.
Will Smith just like, I don't know, I'm a guy who shoots guns, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've arrived at this weird place with the DC Cinematic Universe where they've canceled everything, kind of. We don't know what's going on.
No, it's weird having them be in the same universe as
Ben
Affleck, who's just, like, not there.
Yeah, Ben Affleck's gone, even though
Jared Leto's
he was in the last movie. Jared Leto Joker is gone.
Yeah.
But Margot Robbie worked, so they're like, let's keep doing that. And Wonder Woman worked, so they're making another Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, it's like this weird half-universe thing that's happening.
It kind of feels like we as cinema goers are really stupid. Where they're like, I don't even think about this whole universe doesn't make any sense anymore.
Yeah, like when at the opening logo, it was showing like Batman and Superman, and you're like, wait, who's playing those characters now? I guess Robert Pattinson.
All of them got fired. And now you're like, well, is Robert Pattinson Batman in the same universe as Harley Quinn?
Right.
Is that in the same universe as Wonder Woman? Is The Flash going to get a movie now? Did you see The Flash showed up on the TV Flash? The movie Flash was in there?
Oh.
Hello? What the hell is this?
So nobody knows what's going on. And Birds of Prey, I don't think answers any of those questions whatsoever. That movie is very completely detached in its own universe.
Except for that one flashback with Jared Leto.
The back of Jared
Leto.
Leto's neck. You get to see his neck.
Yeah.
Because if they showed his face, they probably would have had to pay him $500,000.
Right.
Well, what did we think about this movie? Do we start off with first impressions?
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. It was rated R, right?
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking, actually, as we were driving back here after seeing the movie? I was like, I think they needed to go even harder with the violence. I feel like the few times that it actually got, like, truly graphic were the times that it was like, oh, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the rest of it, I'm like, this just kind of feels like any action movie where the main character beats up a bunch of random thugs.
It was an awkward in-between amount of violence.
It was still weird mix. There were some parts where I'm like, oh, this is like a comic book movie, so clearly they're not going to do this violent thing. And then they do it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't expect that. But there's other parts where you're like, oh, they're going to pull their punches here, and then they do. And you're like, yeah, because it's like, I don't know, a comic book movie or something.
Yeah.
Like, the violence was inconsistent in a way where I was like, just go full John Wick. Just go blood and bone breaking. And because every time somebody got their, bones broken in a hilarious way, the audience was having a really good time.
Yeah.
And there needs to be, especially for a character like Harley Quinn, who is like a comical character,
right?
There should have been more like comical violence. Instead it was like a lot of acrobatic, like watch Harley Quinn do a cool flip. And I'm like, it's a cool slow motion flip, but like...
That's not why you like Harley Quinn.
No.
That's Black Widow.
Yeah, I could get that from any superhero movie.
Right.
I wanted it to be more violent. Maybe
that
sounds childish.
See Harley like hit someone's tongue out the back of their head or something.
Yeah.
Like something goofy, but
when she like broke bones, I'm like, yeah, it's Harley Quinn. That's it felt whatever. When she was just like punching guys. I'm like, all right, take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
So this is an action movie.
it is very much an action movie.
I kind of realized that halfway through.
Yeah, which I didn't like though, because I didn't really want. It kind of felt like a mindless action movie. I was like, it's just gonna be another set piece, another set piece, another set piece.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
Right. And it's not something like now, like after, like I don't know. Are you a fan of the John Wick movies at all?
No.
No.
I like John Wick 1, but about halfway through it, I started to get bored. I don't like the violence in that either. I don't like CGI gunfire.
Yeah.
And I don't like CGI blood.
I just want like creativity, I guess.
Okay, so it's creative and it's well written and well acted. I like that.
Well, I'm saying like creativity in the action scene. Because at this point,
they're well choreographed.
Yeah, I've seen so many mindless action scenes. And within this movie, the scenes where, like, all of a sudden there is, like, some really good choreography. There's one part where, like, all the characters are kind of working together, and there's a few shots where, like, you know, one of them will do something, they'll cut to another one. It's very fluid motion. I was like, okay, that feels pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of it feels kind of uneven to me.
So, I think part of the problem with the action...
Yeah.
And I'm having this problem increasingly with more and more movies, is that the way women fight men doesn't feel real. Yeah.
Because it feels like there's no way that this 12-foot or 12-pound woman would be able to take down some hulking brute or whatever with acrobatic skill.
A lot of times in the movie, Harley throws...
Fucking cat. Throws a punch.
Throws a man. Like, grabs a man by the arm, does some kind of cartwheel, and throws him on the ground.
Yeah.
And then the man never gets back up.
Yeah, even though it's like, all you did was throw him a little bit. Like, he's a big grown man. He should be able to take that hit.
Yeah, and this is like a spin-off sequel to Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
So when Batman fights a bunch of bad guys, you believe that they're not going to get back up after what he does to them in BVS.
I mean, sometimes Harley's hits are like, you know, a baseball bat to the face.
So those
and that
ones,
works.
those work. But
Yeah.
a lot of the fighting in this, a 120-pound woman kicks or pushes you, and then you're down,
for the count.
Yeah. Have you ever fought a woman?
No, thankfully. I've been hit by a woman.
Have you ever fought a woman?
No. What, have you fought a woman?
Yeah.
Why? In what context?
A relationship. My ex-wife.
Good.
We used to tussle a little bit.
Good.
The characters don't feel like they're actually trying to kill her. The male grunts, the brutes,
Yeah.
the gang members, it feels like they're dating her, and they're just as friendly, trying to like.
Hey, you've had too much to drink.
Yeah, and then she's like, "No, I haven't," and then she's gonna, break
Yeah.
their faces open with a baseball bat. If you look at what the male characters are doing whenever they're fighting her, they're not really trying to hit her most of the time.
But would you say, I mean, isn't that a common problem, though, to any of these movies?
Okay.
Or do you feel like it really, in this movie, it stood out to you?
It stood out to me in this movie. It might just be like that style of fighting is getting outdated.
The, like, slow-motion weirdo flips and...
The acrobatics. Yeah, I guess.
Leg sweeps.
Yeah, leg sweeps that would never work. People getting kicked and flying off in the distance.
Yeah.
That would never happen. Have you seen Haywire?
No.
Okay, so it's an action movie starring an action star.
Action star.
She's like an MMA fighter.
Oh, a lady. Okay.
Yeah, she's an MMA fighter. And so her size is taken into account in the way she fights. She also fights Michael Fassbender to death.
Mm-hmm. But there you feel like they
It feels real.
admitted her size and
Yes.
like, thought about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I do like the stuff, again, and maybe...
Right, it's like what you're saying with the
violence, where, like, when she has a baseball bat, when
It
she
works.
has a gun...
It makes sense.
Huntress, it works great, because, again, she has a projectile weapon. So there's no problem there. You're like, yeah...
She's just more muscular. She's just bigger.
She's a little more... She moves a bit more gracefully, I feel, too, and so it sells it very well.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth Winstead feels like if she punched you in the face, it would actually hurt, like, quite a lot.
Yeah. Whereas Black Canary, I was like, I don't buy this lady punched anyone ever in her life.
No, she looks like a lounge singer. Like,
yeah.
That she'll fit that part of the character, but no, she doesn't.
No. I know you want to have, like, the attractive young female, but I'm like...
Black.
attractive black lady. But I'm like, I don't know, man. Her skin's too perfect for me to believe she's ever broken a nail.
No, she looked like a college girl.
I did not fear her at any point.
No, and the way
That's the problem is you're watching the movie and you're like, I could take Black Canary.
Right. You shouldn't be thinking that. You should be thinking like, holy shit, that's.
Oh my god, like she's so powerful. She has so many moves. Instead, you're just like, just like tackle her or something.
So let's talk about female action stars you think you could beat up.
I don't know.
Black Widow.
Scarlett Johansson? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Scarlett Johansson has no actual fight training.
Yeah.
I don't want to beat up Scarlett Johansson.
No. But you know.
But like,
but could you?
Right. Well, that's the thing is that with the female action stars, they don't find somebody with a fighter's build necessarily.
No.
I mean, but then again, you look at a guy like Paul Rudd and Ant-Man, you're like, I could probably beat up Ant-Man too. So it goes both ways.
That's true.
But Ant-Man, again, you have the idea of powers is what gives this everyman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point of Ant-Man. So
you almost need the powers.
You're supposed to think you could beat up Ant-Man without the powers.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to think you can beat up
Black Canary or Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
I think Harley Quinn could, kick my ass by pure ruthlessness, though. If she had a baseball bat.
Well, luck is also a part of her fighting style.
Yeah. Which she actually admits to in the movie.
She does.
Yeah.
They didn't really play that up quite enough.
Do you think luck is like an essential part of her character?
I think so. She's like, ooh, a penny, and then someone like
Yeah.
That did happen, but
and her unpredictableness is, I think, an interesting part of that. Where like you can't read what she's gonna do. They don't talk about that very much.
No, they don't.
This is a problem I have with a lot of action movies. Is like you have to get me to suspend my disbelief that one person can possibly deal with 100 people in one day.
Yes.
That's always Batman's problem. I'm like, how is it possible that one guy doesn't just take a gun and Batman's got his back turned and he just gets shot in the head?
Right. Well, he does in Batman v Superman. Someone shoots him in the back of the head.
Which is great.
And
good.
He goes,
fuck. Yeah, he gets whatever. And that was another part of this movie is like the thugs go from... It's always the thugs have guns at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. When they're like, we gotta get them. Let's send in 100 guys without guns. And I'm like, why don't you send them in with guns?
Mm-hmm.
And they do all the hand-to-hand fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And the second they come out, they're back to having guns again. Mm-hmm. And you're like, all right.
Yeah, so there's a lot of plot conveniences to take the excitement out of all the action scenes.
Right.
They only have to deal with whatever they can currently deal with. And if they're not equipped to deal with something more difficult, then the movie just takes it away so they don't have to.
Yeah.
At no point do you feel like anyone's ever really in danger.
No. Yeah, I was trying to think if there's like ever a position where I'm like, oh, our heroes are at their lowest point. There's a couple things like that. There was a situation where you're like, oh, there's nothing they can do, and that was when I leaned over to you, and I'm like, she's going to use a superpower right now.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. Hey, scriptwriter in training here, baby.
Yeah.
I can call these movies. You can write these movies in your sleep.
Yeah.
I guess one thing, though, I want to talk about is, people are always, when these movies get announced, where it's like, it's an all-female movie, and they're kicking ass and fighting crime. Mm-hmm. And there's ways to do that it's fine, and there's ways to do that make you want to cringe out of your skin.
Okay. I
don't know if you ever saw the trailer for, like, the Batwoman show.
No.
During that trailer, the song that they chose...
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, where it just goes, I'm a woman! Yeah! And you're like, stop. Just like, we already know that they're women, you don't have to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Now make them into characters.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go beyond the novelty of it's a whole group of women fighting together, we've never seen it before. Okay, alright, but now you have to make each of them into characters I care about. This movie, I feel, did not like play up any weird girl power sort of narrative.
No, they almost even made fun of it. When she's like reaching my pocket and he pulls out a tampon, or they're saying like, don't do that, you'll ruin your nail, or how did she have time for a shoe change during the like there's a lot of little moments.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff where they're like are doing stereotypically girly kind of things.
But it's almost to make fun of themselves.
Yeah, no, I had no problems with it. Like, I know a lot of people on the internet, that's all they want to talk about is, oh, it's SJW propaganda. I didn't get that feeling from it.
No.
Anybody was trying to get me to change my mind and be like, women can kick ass.
No, they're trying to get girls to buy tickets to movies.
So you think this was like a, let's get some women. You think that's the marketing strategy, is to draw in a female audience?
Yeah.
I didn't really feel like it had like a...
Agenda.
It didn't have an agenda. I don't even know if it had like a marketing agenda. I didn't really see a lot of the marketing for it. It kind of feels like this movie was under-marketed. Which, did our theater start filling up once you got in? Because I took a picture before the movie started. We went on opening night.
It looked like half.
You think half the theater was full? Because I took a picture...
40%.
I took a picture before the movie started, like 5 minutes... Or, 5 minutes before showtime. And it was, like, empty in there. People started to come in, but it was not, like, a packed theater.
Yeah.
Whereas you think of a comic book movie on opening day...
Right.
You typically think of like, oh, it's
Sold
a comic book movie. Like Deadpool sold out, X-Men sold out. This was like, I have no idea what this is because the TV didn't tell me what to think about it. Because the marketing for this movie has been like, it feels non-existent. I feel like I've seen nothing about this movie. I went into it, I didn't even know which Birds of Prey or who. All I knew was Harley Quinn was in it, really. Did you see anything for this movie before it came out? Like, did it get on your radar at any point?
I saw a couple trailers.
Yeah.
But even having seen the movie, I don't really know what it's about. It feels like...
It's kind of a spin in your wheels of the movie. It was kind of a pointless adventure.
Pretty shapeless.
Yeah.
Every character has the same arc.
Do they?
Except Crossbow Bitch.
Don't call her Crossbow Bitch.
Huntress.
Should we get into spoilers now?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's start with the kind of basic plot. We'll try to, which is hard. This movie is...
So this is for people who are just never going to see the movie.
Yeah, who are just not going to see it.
Okay.
It's presented almost similar to Suicide Squad for a bit, where it's doing a lot of jumping around, especially at the beginning. At the beginning, there's a lot of like...
A really rough start.
A very rough start. It's the narration by Harley Quinn. The whole movie is narrated by Harley Quinn, which you wonder if that was how the script was written, or if they went, this doesn't make sense, let's try some creative editing with some voiceover, where Harley explains everything that's happening.
This all started when the Joker and I broke up. It was completely mutual.
Why not put Jared Leto in this movie a little bit?
Right.
I mean, I guess you could say thematically it's about leaving him behind, so why even show him, but...
He's a big part of the movie, though.
Yeah, and it almost feels like it would have been more interesting to have Joker, like, in the background trying to win her back or doing something.
Yeah,
like,
if the movie's about her getting over their failed relationship...
Right.
It's weird to have her do that with an unrelated character with Black Mask, is that his name?
Yeah, Black Mask is the one she has to take down. So basically what happens is after Harley breaks up with Joker, we learn that Harley's ability to exist in Gotham City was based primarily on being Joker's girlfriend, where it's like, she can do whatever she wants, because if you tell her no, Joker will assumedly kill you or maim you or whatever else. Mm-hmm. And now that she's broken up with him, she's lost that protection. And so everybody now who finds out that Harley is no longer dating Joker, all her old enemies are now coming to get revenge, because they were never scared of Harley, they were always scared of her boyfriend.
So the drama comes from the idea that Harley needs protection, except it's proven immediately that that's not the case.
Right.
She doesn't need protection, ever.
Well, I guess, yeah, that's the thing, is that she arrives, I guess the end of the movie is supposed to be, I never needed anyone.
And it's like, yeah, we fucking knew
Yeah,
that.
we saw that, like, the entire...
The first thing we know about you is that you can beat up 20 guys with guns at the same time with no effort.
Yeah, it would be one thing if, like, at the end of those interactions, if she was like, God, I wish the Joker was here. Oh my God, what do I do? Or if she expressed some regret, like, these guys are going to keep coming for me, and I can't handle it, I'm breaking down. But instead it's just kind of like, no, I'm whatever.
And even if she's not, does Harley really care if she dies? It's not like, what is she doing? She's not doing anything with her life.
No. I mean,
like,
she
this
has
is not
basic self-preservation instinct, but beyond that, she kind of just exists to have fun. I don't know.
Okay, but she does many things that make it seem like she doesn't have a basic self-preservation instinct.
I mean, she is very reckless.
Yeah, so it's like, if you're trying to stay alive, you're not really.
Stop being, like, throwing yourself out of cars and whatever else you're putting yourself at risk.
Yeah.
Stop storming into police stations with a gun.
Yes. Why don't you just, like, put on a hat and some sunglasses, and then no one will know who you are.
Go get a job at a bodega.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hang out.
Yeah.
They didn't really even, like, play up that theme to the point where, like, we went, what's the theme of this movie right now? And I went, Oh yeah, it kind of had one. I guess it was getting over a breakup and being your own woman. But
You don't need no man.
you don't need no man. But it's so poorly communicated that it like barely even plays a part.
You know what would have made the movie a lot better? If the kid...
If all the characters were men.
I was going to say, if the kid had been male.
If she had been protecting a
teenage... A runty Asian teenage boy.
Well, in the movie... do you have your phone real quick? Look up Cassandra Cain. That was the name of the kid.
Yeah.
I think that's... Is that Batwoman?
Batwoman's Kate Kane, I think.
But I think Cassandra Cain... What's Catwoman's name? Catwoman is Selena Kyle. At first I thought it was supposed to be Catwoman.
Cassandra Cain is...
So her name is just Cassandra Cain? That's her superhero name?
The character is one of several who have assumed the role of Batgirl. And Cassandra Cain goes by the name of Orphan in the current DC Comics continuity.
Okay, I'm super... I don't know. I'm not caught up on DC stuff. Point is, this character whose name they kept repeating, and I'm like, I think that's a Batman person. I don't know who.
She eats a diamond with a secret code in it.
It's not even just a diamond.
No, it's got a diamond.
It's a secret
diamond
code
that leads
diamond.
to lots of other diamonds, and Harley's trying to get her to shit it out for the whole movie.
Well,
but she never does.
At the end of the movie, she does.
You don't see it.
No, you don't see it.
You don't even hear it.
No, but they say she pawns it. You wanted to see a scene where a 12-year-old Korean girl shits her pants, is what you're saying. Hey, you and me both, brother. No. There's a diamond that Black Mask wants. Black Mask is the villain of this movie. The diamond has codes inside of it that link to an ancient family fortune worth presumably billions.
Huntress's
family. It's their fortune, and they left the codes in a diamond. That everybody wants the diamond. This little Asian pickpocket steals it from Zaz, who's another Batman villain.
Yeah.
You know that guy?
Yeah.
He puts a scar on his body every time he kills somebody or something.
Yeah.
Random thug, basically.
Who doesn't do that and then just dies.
Yeah. Steals the dime from him, eats it, and now everybody wants it. Black Mask also wants Harley Quinn dead just because she's done so many horrible things to him in the past. So she brokers a deal with Black Mask.
Like mispronouncing espresso.
Yeah, well, there was like a list of different
voting
things.
for Bernie.
Voting for Bernie was one of the sins that she committed against Black Mask.
Saying espresso instead of espresso.
Breaking the legs of his driver was the big one that we see in the movie.
Right.
There are funny little joke reasons. They
yeah.
flash by very quickly. But she brokers a deal that I don't know why Black Mask agrees to, where she goes, I can get the diamond back.
Mm-hmm.
And then Black Mask is like, yeah, okay. And then immediately when she leaves, he goes, hey, also, let's just get like 100 other dudes. And he just mass texts everybody.
Yeah, he really...
$500,000 reward for the diamond. I'm like, well, if you're going to send all those guys, now they're all conflict. Yeah, he sets himself up for failure because now Harley Quinn is fighting the other guys who are also trying to get the diamond.
Right.
Whereas they could just be like, hey, why don't we just both bring them the diamond together?
Yeah. For a movie about female empowerment, it's just about a guy... who sends too many texts to the wrong people.
Yeah. Well, Harley's thing is, if the bad thugs get the girl, they're not going to wait for her to poop it out. They're going to cut her open.
Okay, but she also buys a knife specifically to cut her open and tells her that she's going to do this.
No. She says she gets the knife as like I don't know why she gets the knife.
She did keep the knife.
She kept the knife, but I think she was not going to cut that kid open at any point. She said there's two options. You can take the laxative or I can cut it out.
Okay, so this is part of the problem with having these characters as the main character. Because if Harley Quinn is a side character, she can cut a diamond out of a kid and like rip it out of her butt, and it's just funny.
Right.
But if it's your main character that you're with for 2 hours, then you're like, I don't really want you to do that. But then she's kind of not Harley Quinn anymore.
That, I think, is a core issue.
Yeah.
So the big thing for me is that you get into this thing where you go, oh, it's Harley Quinn, she's nuts. She, like the Joker is a fucking killer, and she's his girlfriend.
Right.
So you expect Harley Quinn, like, oh, she's a psychopath, like she'll stab a guy for a nickel or whatever the fuck. But no, because here she's the main character.
Is this your problem with the police station?
She can't do that. There's a scene where she goes into the police station to find the kid, and she's got a shotgun. And I'm like, oh my god!
I think it's like a grenade launcher.
I'm here to report a terrible crime.
And what terrible crime is that?
This one.
It's something big with a big old barrel, and I'm like, is Harley Quinn gonna kill a bunch of cops? And then I went, no, because they would not have the balls. And it's not even a matter of balls. It's just like you can't do it because too many people would be like, I can no longer identify with this main character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Whereas you're right. If it was a different movie, Harley Quinn, her gun, it's revealed, shoots glitter and magic and
Right. It's the same
paintballs.
It's the same scene as in Terminator.
It is basically the scene from Terminator.
Except
where the
Terminator's not the main character.
Right. So Terminator gets to murder a bunch of cops.
But in Terminator 2, when he is a main character, his gun is filled with harmless smoke grenades, and he shoots cops with those.
Right.
It's like almost like John Connor's like, hey, you're a main character now, so you can't
you can't
just
just
shoot a bunch
murder
of cops.
people.
No.
And it's the kind of thing where like, I know why they have to do it, you know? Harley Quinn can't go into police station and kill a bunch of cops, because now all of a sudden her quest to save one little girl, you're like, yeah, but she's a cop murderer. This no longer thematically plays. She can't kill cops. But it does remove you...
She would kill cops, though.
That's the thing. Okay, so in Suicide Squad, there's a scene where they talk about things Harley Quinn has done, and it like has her rap sheet, and part of it is complicit in the murder of Robin. She's murdered what I assume is a 15-year-old boy at some point.
Who was also basically a cop.
Yeah, or helped Joker, torture a child to death, whatever that meant. Mm-hmm. And in Suicide Squad, I do think that there was more of this idea that like, oh, she's like a psychopath. She could do anything at any point or whatever. Whereas here, we're like, there isn't that more. There's no moral ambiguity to the character. She just is good. There's a brief moment of moral ambiguity where she gives up and says, like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to give this kid over to the bad guys and just wash my hands of this whole thing.
But in the narration, before she does that, she says, this part isn't pretty.
So she's already saying that this is incorrect.
Yeah, it's not about her becoming a good person, because she already is. She already knows what she's doing is wrong.
Yeah. Of all the characters in the movie, I think you're most excited when Harley's doing something or the focus of it. Anytime they cut to the other characters, I'm like, oh god, stop. Except Huntress, I thought was okay. Which I told you this when we were coming out of the theater. I'm like, am I racist if the characters I liked the most were the white ladies? And I felt like the brown ladies did not interest me as much, were not as captivating.
Or are you calling them racist for not giving the brown ladies good characters to play?
I think it's and this might be getting too meta, is like, it feels like both of the white characters, which is Harley Quinn and Huntress.
Well, the only ones who really have stories.
The two, of the four ladies, the two of them are white.
5 if you count.
The Korean girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was whatever. She was there. Did you like her character?
What fucking Korean has the last name Kane?
I don't know, man.
Kane
could be a Korean
foster
name.
parents?
Yeah, she has foster parents, that's what they said. There you go.
Did I like her? I liked her.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought she was,
She was no short round. That's how I felt.
Short round? Step on it.
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones. Hold on to your potatoes.
The two characters I liked the most were obviously Harley Quinn, which was just interesting and fun. And then I thought Huntress, because we had this discussion where a lot of what these female-led action movies get wrong is they just strip the character of like any emotion, and they're just like, she's a badass. Mm-hmm. She's wearing skin-tight leather. She feels nothing.
Right.
And you're like, all right, this sucks. Like, there's nothing there. Whereas Huntress is doing that, but it's like a parody of that, because we see her practicing in the mirror, like, my name's Huntress, and like practicing really her intro.
Awkward.
Yeah, and it was really fun, and I'm like, that's a good take on that character.
Yeah.
But then you have Black Canary, who was kind of almost the character that I'm talking about, this stereotype of just like nothing.
She's what Huntress was making fun of.
Right. She's just like, yeah, I like punch guys, and I like, I know how to use guns, and I'm a badass. And I'm like, yeah, none of this is interesting.
She doesn't have a lot of dialogue. She's actually in the movie a lot, but there's a lot of scenes where she's just watching Ewan McGregor talk.
Well, there's a really bad scene where her and Renee Montoya, who is the other brown lady in the film. Black Canary, first of all, used to be a white lady in the comics, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's Green Arrow's girlfriend. I got no problem with that. I'm one of those people, I'm like, whatever. We've seen white Black Canary now have Black Canary. Isn't that interesting? The Black Canary's black. Renee Montoya is a Batman character. She's just basically a stock female detective. There's a scene where Black Canary and Renee Montoya have this stupid dialogue about, like, I knew your mother. She had the same powers as you. We used to work together on the force. And she's like, you let my mother die. You know, you worked with her and then you just let her die. And she's like, I'm sorry I let your mother die. Okay. It was the most boring conversation between the two most boring characters in the movie. At no point did either of those characters was I interested in either of them.
Yeah, Black Canary was like, I hate cops, but only a little bit.
Yeah. That could have been an interesting dynamic. Like,
if she really
you
hated
let
cops.
my mother die, I'm not going to work with you. Like, at the end of the movie when they're forced to team up, fuck you, cop, or some shit.
And then she has to, like, save her and then sacrifice herself.
Right.
And she's like, oh, I guess cops aren't all bad.
Yeah, there could have been something there. But there were really, like, neither of them. Black Canary had no personality traits other than I'm secretly pretending to be bad, but I'm actually a good person. I'm going to, like, text the cops when something bad is happening because I don't want a little girl to die.
Yeah. Regular black people trust cops less than Black Canary did.
I don't know why I just find that funny.
It's true.
You're like, she should have a more pronounced
Yes.
dislike of the police.
Yes.
Yeah. The typical African-American community would be more upset with cops than Black Canary, whose mother was actually killed by, or let to die by cops, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was all very weak. It had no legs. And then Renee Montoya was, she was like, she was being too good of a cop, so they made her not a cop anymore. She was going behind their back and, like, sending evidence.
Yeah, just because men are just horrible.
Yeah, because the male black police detective was a dynamic there. I don't know what it is, but he took the promotion she apparently deserved. They make a point of bringing that up, that she had solved some big case back in the day, but her evil boss took the credit for it and became chief of police. But now she's saying, screw these men.
It's weird to make a movie about gender like this and then ignore race in it.
Yeah.
They
don't really bring up race at all.
Like, oh yeah,
it's there, but
those
it's not.
stereotypical elderly black police detectives who always take all the credit and become like stars in the news.
Yeah.
Don't you hate that? Like, when the fuck has that ever happened?
Everybody else seems way too reasonable around her. It would be one thing if, like, we saw her really getting strong-armed by them, and they're like, you drop this case right now, Montoya!
But she's fucking crazy.
Yeah. But instead, you're just kind of like, oh, this lady's nuts. I think the problem with this movie is that there was no core theme, or at least not one that they stuck to. It turned kind of into a mindless action movie with a MacGuffin at the center of it. We gotta get the diamond out of the kid. The only moral was, don't cut open small Asian children, because that's bad. Did anybody learn a lesson, or... Black Canary, like, she uses her powers for the one time in the movie.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. It would have been interesting if it's like, I can't use my powers because that's what got my mom killed, or, you know, I'll be a pariah, or she never talks about any of that. It's just kind of like, all right, I guess I'm going to do this thing I can do, which is super powerful, and there's no reason that I haven't done it already. Like, why weren't you doing that the whole time? Why don't you just shout at everybody who sucks?
Yeah.
It feels like a script with parts of it just missing. Like, maybe they did have that character development somewhere, and they just went to the wayside. They just cut it. It's about Harley Quinn finding a diamond. That's the theme. The theme is diamonds are good, killing Asian children is bad.
You could have made a really interesting, dark, disturbing, funny movie about Harley Quinn actually getting over the Joker.
Yeah, there's something there, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it turns into this diamond chase with a villain who's like, the villain's not even connected to this theme of, it would be like, why not have the villain be like a Joker henchman? And that could be like a way to like really establish breaking away from the Joker, like killing a dude who was like central to the Joker's world.
Or have the villain be the Joker.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like the obvious thing. I don't know why.
It should just be about them breaking up. Either start the movie with her being over it already, or make the movie about them breaking up. But it's weird to make a movie about her getting over them breaking up, but not have them break up in the movie. Did you like it?
No. Did I like the movie?
Yeah.
It was something I'd watch.
You did?
Yeah, I watched it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
Do you regret seeing it?
No, I don't regret seeing it.
You didn't feel like it ate your life?
No, it didn't, and it didn't feel like one of those movies that's like so like obnoxiously bad that I'm mad at everybody who made it.
Suicide Squad is worse.
Suicide Squad is definitely worse than this movie. Suicide Squad is so bad to the point of like comical, like a trick played on the audience. This movie just felt like, how many scripts did you write and toss out before you just went, I don't know, just use draft 4 of 12 and let's just shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, parts just feel missing. Characters aren't fleshed out in any meaningful way.
Ewan McGregor was great.
Yeah, he was very funny as the villain in some scenes. There's a scene where he's just showing Black Canary all the stupid art he collects, and he's just like, "Look at these shrunken heads. They're stupid. Look at how stupid they look." And it was funny. It was genuinely like hilarious. But then there's parts that it just goes back to him being stereotypical villain of the week. Like there's a part where he like. Somebody goes to his club, and I joked about why does anybody go to any club in Gotham owned by these horrible villains where at any point he might just get mad at you and like force you at what did he have, like a knife or something? He's like, take off your dress, get on the table and take off your dress.
He
and
didn't even have anything. I think people just know.
Yeah, people just know he could kill you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what is the point of this scene? Just he gets mad and then he's evil.
Well, that was weird because it's like, oh, you'll make a woman dance and strip on a table, but we just watched you cut a child's face off.
Right.
20 minutes
We already
ago.
know he's like
we don't,
evil, and then he does something that's far less evil.
Yes, but the movie
Oh
is,
no, he's making a white lady take off her clothes. She feels violated.
Yeah, the movie is filmed as though that's worse, though. And then even Black Canary sheds a tear watching him make this stranger, like...
You're right, the first thing we see him do is he tells his henchmen, like, cut off the faces of this whole family, including, like, a young girl.
Right,
You're like,
that's our introduction to him,
like a teenage girl. I'm like, oh... And that was one of those things, again, with the violence, where I expected them to pull punches. I'm like, oh, well, there's no way.
They show his fucking face come off.
Yeah, they show a guy's face come off, but then when it gets to, like, the teenage daughter, I'm like, oh, no, it's a Hollywood movie. They'll never cut the fucking face off a teenage girl. And then I'm like, oh my god!
Yeah, they go for it.
Okay, well, hey.
They'll show it, but...
Yeah, but that made me think...
It's almost worse that they don't show it.
It made me think that, oh, maybe this movie's not going to pull punches.
Right.
And then I get to Harley Quinn's glitter shotgun in the police station.
Yeah, you can't start out with...
pick a lane, yeah.
You can't start out with the hardest punch, because then the rest of the movie feels so tame.
It does, because you start off with literal...
Someone's face
what is
being
worse than getting your face cut and then ripped off? Yeah, does any amount of violence ever match up to that in the movie?
Not even close.
There's one part where Harley Quinn breaks both a guy's legs again.
But she's already broken both of somebody's legs.
Right, and
it's
that's nothing funny. Compared to getting your face ripped off.
It's just shown as funny. It's not gross, really.
Right. Yeah. So in this movie, I don't know. The characters failed for me, just in terms of there's no arc. It's just they join up as a matter of circumstance. We got to fight our way out of a haunted house. I didn't hear the dialogue because I was like actually kind of confused where she's on the pier and Black Mask is like yelling at her. Mm-hmm. And it feels like this last ditch effort to establish a theme.
By having voiceover.
Yeah, well, he's yelling.
Or ADR, yeah.
Yeah, it's like ADR of him like yelling like, you need me, you're too weak to stand on your own. You're not that type
to be able to stand on your own.
Yeah. And I'm like... I was really confused. I'm like, wait, is this like her hearing Joker's voice or something? I couldn't even tell what was going on because it made no sense in the context.
Right, why would he drag the girl out to the pier and shout at her?
And then start shouting at Harley Quinn that she needs a man in her life? Yeah. I'm like, where is this? Who's saying this?
All he had to do is say like, okay, I'll let her poop out the diamond and then I'll give you $1 million and I'll call all this attack off on you. And
well, that's the other thing is you're like, I understand that they're evil and they want the diamond right now, but like...
why to the point of his own destruction?
Yeah, at the point that you've lost all the 100 dudes you hired to be your army... Yeah, you could try to broker a deal and be like, okay, I'm being a little hasty.
Sure.
We'll put her in a room. We'll let her poop out the diamond. I don't have to cut her open.
He could say that, and then she could kill him anyway. That could be an ending.
That would be interesting. Yeah, it's like all of a sudden he's being reasonable, and she's like, yeah, let's do that. Or whatever. So do you think this movie had reshoots and, like, meddling? Because it feels to me unfinished, but I don't know if that's just a result of going with a bad shooting script.
No. It feels like it was going to be...
darker at one point.
Maybe I'm just making that up. That's just how it feels.
I feel like WB at this point is done with the darkness because it didn't work X number of times in a row, even though they never really... Were any of those movies really dark? Man of Steel was dark.
Then why wasn't this PG-13?
I don't know why. Yeah, what?
Why do I want to watch someone get their fucking face peeled off? It's just unpleasant. It wasn't a fun scene.
Yeah, well, you get to watch people explode, and you get to hear a lot of swearing and stuff.
Yes.
Well, I guess you're right. Yeah, why give it an R rating if you're not going to push that in some way?
Yeah, there's no nudity,
Right.
no sex.
Yeah, there's no sexual anything, which...
Which is weird. She's a really sexual character.
Yeah, well, hey, you're going to ruin the feminist moral at the center of it.
I know,
if you
but
start sexualizing these women.
you get really angry about this. You're very energized about this topic.
Which topic? The idea of...
Puritanism. The idea that
things are being sanitized artificially.
As a way to make them less sexist. The idea that sexuality is sexist.
Yes, that does offend me. That sexuality, which should just be like, yeah, it's a natural part of humanity. There was no sex appeal to any of these characters. I don't think there has to be.
No, but even Harley Quinn's sexuality.
Harley Quinn is sexualized.
You think
but
she is,
yeah,
but she's a sex object, but she
Yeah.
doesn't have her own sex drive. She's not like fucking anybody.
No, and I don't know if that's a conscious decision or again just this focus on let's just get through this bland action movie without complicating any of it.
A
I don't even
teenage
know.
boy with a diamond up his butt, and Harley Quinn's trying to have sex with
See,
him.
that's pretty good.
Harley Quinn's trying to have sex with him, and he just wants to watch cartoons and eat cereal. That would be funny.
Yeah, instead of having the little Asian girl, you just have a little boy.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn's like, let me just pull it out of your poopa, kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, Harley Quinn's trying to stick her finger in my butt.
Yeah, that would be good.
That's pretty good. I don't know, you want to wrap this thing up? Overall opinions of the movie. Did any of the characters... Did you love any of the characters? No.
I loved...
I like Huntress. Huntress was fun.
I loved...
And Harley's fun.
I loved Huntress. I loved Black Mask. I loved Ewan McGregor. I liked
a lot of elements of this movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. It had a very stop and start feel. So every 20 minutes, I would be like, you know what? I like this movie. I'm prepared to recommend this movie, and then it would just sort of like die
Meander off.
And it was like, okay, maybe it'll get good again.
I'd be getting bored, and then they'd do like one cool thing, or make
you're like, okay,
a couple
okay.
good jokes in a row, and I'm like, ah, and then it would just like completely die off.
It was
again.
laugh out loud funny many times.
Yeah, there was parts. We actually discussed. There's a part where Black Mask just tells Harley Quinn, he's just like, you're such a fucking moron.
Yeah.
And for some reason, just the idea of like a villain not giving the traditional like villain speech or whatever.
That's his last line, I think, before he dies. He's like,
You fucking moron.
He says, "You think you can kill me? You're a fucking moron." That's great.
Yeah, that's such a stupid line. And I'm like, villain should. Can you imagine if someone said that to James Bond? James Bond, like, what are you doing, you fucking idiot?
Yeah,
you suck.
It's so demeaning.
Yeah, it felt like really cutting and real.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were like parts where like we genuinely were like laughing and having a good time. But then again, it would just like go into. I mean, it's not like even the action sequences are bad. It's just like I feel like I've seen them before.
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie, predictions, I can't imagine this movie's going to do well.
No.
Because I can't imagine, even if I was like your basic comic book superhero fan, you know, being like, telling all your friends, you got to see the extended cut of BVS. Like,
yeah.
I don't see those guys coming out for this movie. It didn't even give like the comic fan service. There's only one superpower in the whole movie with what's her name? Black Canary does one superpowered thing.
Rotten Tomatoes score.
I think it actually didn't it do good on Rotten Tomatoes for some reason though?
What do you think it has?
I think I cheated and I saw it earlier, but I'm assuming it dropped by now. I'm gonna say it should be at like a 70.
86.
That doesn't make any sense to me. That's too high, right?
I'm shocked. Are we gonna rate this?
Like out of 10?
Yeah.
Give it a 4?
Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. Would you recommend it to anyone? Is there any particular type of person that you think would greatly enjoy this or get something out of it? Again, like even like a dedicated DC fan, I'm like, I don't know. If you really like Harley Quinn, you'll have fun.
I wouldn't not recommend it to anyone. If anybody says, "Should I see this movie?" I wouldn't be like, definitely not.
I'd say I don't know if you're interested in that universe. Sure.
If you like the trailer, you'll like the movie because it's exactly what is promised.
This is the kind of movie I'm going to say if it shows up on Netflix and someone's like, "What should we watch on Netflix?" I'd be like, you know, if you haven't seen it, I guess you go watch Birds of Prey. It's all right. It's something to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess we do an average of the two scores and have arrived at a very easy 4 out of 10 for Birds of Prey and the glamatication of the miraculous Harrison Quantel. I don't know the name of the movie. We will hopefully be back with more movie reviews. We'll see what movies are coming out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.
To my channel.
Yeah, to Max's channel. Max, you want to do a plug?
Mr. Girl, one word.
That's the plug.
That's the plug. You want to hear some fucked up shit? Come, Papa's got you.
Like and subscribe. We will be back with more cool videos. Love you guys.